I thought, because they made such a thing about boys when I was growing up, in the Greek community especially, I thought it was because I was less. And what happened was, when I understood history, I realized it wasn't me. You still... I know. Oh, Lord. Okay, what is this? Innovative. This is the second one. 2 scripts and this. They want to pay, the classical stage is paying a whopping $542 a week, plus pension and health. Do you wonder why actors flee to Hollywood? Hello? He did what? Oh, the Liz Estrada, the Greek thing at the Getty, yeah. See, I remember plays and theaters. It's just people, I don't remember their name. I look okay, right? I look fun. It's fun. I figure I should have fun here. It's not supposed to be serious or glamorous or blah, blah. This is too big for this outfit, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what it is in people that makes it possible for them to tolerate such disorder around themselves. I always think maybe they've got something I don't have. I mean, their minds are so orderly. See, my mind is like chaotic, so I have to have order around me. I can't be disorder out and disorder in. Diane Ladd is going to speak, and Ed Asner. Yeah, he's so funny. He keeps telling me that he's taking Viagra and that we should go away together. That's it. He's a lot of fun.
What?
We get over here.
You dyed your hair. I think it looks beautiful. I think I'll try it. I find her to be a magnificent actress. And to have this magnificent actress placed in concrete on this street, shaming the lack of talent among so many other actresses on this street, I think is a great tribute to the quality of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. I commend them highly. This is talent up the wazoo.
What does the star mean to you?
I'm so loath to answer that question because it doesn't mean anything to me. And I feel like I'm ungrateful, I shouldn't be that way. But I don't mean that. I don't feel, it just doesn't.
It just doesn't do anything for you?
No, it doesn't. Am I glad I'm getting it? Of course I'm glad I'm getting it. Anytime your work is acknowledged, you're glad.
Oh, there it is.
And of course, the big thing is that all my kids are together.
If the start doesn't do it for you, what do you think would get you excited?
Oh, well, the Academy Award meant a great deal to me. Yeah, that was significant to me. Because that was, I think, a specific piece of work. You know what song I love? Miserlo. Miserlo moi γλυκιά σου μάτια φλόγα έχει ανάψει μες στην καρδιά. baby, Hallelujah. Τουρκικό είναι, τουρκικό. Αχ, θα σε κλέψω μέσα απ' την Αραπία.
There she is.
How are ya?
Miss America. Miss New Jersey. How are you, darling?
I have to say this. That bastard at the Toronto Film Festival rejected Cloudburst.
What did we do? As I stepped to the plate. Did we do something bad?
Yes, I
did we?
think.
What did we
I
do?
think you turned down Tom Fitzgerald's latest film.
Oh, we did we?
Yes, it's called Cloudburst.
And you're in it?
I'm in it.
And Brenda Frickerson.
And he was.
Wow.
We were told that it was because our performances weren't good enough, and the film meandered.
Wow.
They could have just said no.
Yes, exactly.
And
Why
I
did
was.
he just say no?
And
That
I was
wasn't me.
instructed by Tom not to mention this at all. And so I'm now blaring it out. You stupid, cock-sucking pig. You little dick. You piss-faced monkey. You were a shitty little shortstop, but I stood by you. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Do not threaten a police officer.
Fuck you! Do you have anything to do with this?
Nothing, actually.
All right.
Yeah, nothing, Olympia.
All right, just
Haven't seen the film.
said that she had a couple of tequilas and somebody said that, fight ye devils, I hate peace. And that has always,
What a great
since,
line.
oh, it is,
Yeah.
since I was like 14, 15, fighting the Irish on the street, I've always, with a knife in my pocket.
What a girl.
I've held, well, I didn't know what a street, there was a
But you were a tough Greek girl.
no, I really, yes, maybe I was. But that phrase, that is always, you know,
That's really it.
fight you devils, I hate peace.
I saw Olympia in New York in a play. I think it was the Mike Nichols play. You know, I'm not sure.
Right, Andy Bergman's Social Security.
I was just blown away with her timing. I just felt that here was an actress that had some of the best comedic timing I had ever seen. And I just saw her as Cher's mother.
So this is the lead in to this very complex scene that ends the film that Norman was talking about
right.
earlier. And we're all kind of fascinated in how a director works with an actor.
You got a love bite on your neck. He's coming back this morning. What's the matter with you? Your life's going down the toilet. Cover up that damn thing. Come on, put some makeup on it. Well, I think we did an improvisation. And that line, your life is going down the toilet, was part of the improvisation. I have to say what I did was I channeled my mother. That was with the pinching and all of that stuff, with the finger pointing and that line, of course. I looked at it again and I thought, wow, my mother was my first acting teacher. My mother was a disciplinarian. My mother had a little arsenal in the corner. She had belts, she had sticks. Her job was to keep shame from the family. That was her job. And she saw what I was like. I was rebellious, I was independent, I was all these different things. And that scared her. And she tried to do all these different things to me. She tried to teach me shame. Can you imagine? She'd stand there in front of me, slap me. She says, cry, you have no shame. She wanted me to feel shame. And I was like, I wouldn't feel it. I'd go to the bathroom and cry so she didn't see me. Listen, I was 19 years old. I'd gone out on a date or something. She found my pants in the laundry. I'm sure she checked my pants all the time. Now, when I look back, I realize, what's she doing with my pants? She takes my pants and she confronts me with it. What is the meaning of this? She said, really? Oh my God. I mean, her eyes are like blazing.
Why?
Just a big, I must have creamed in my pants or something, who knows what. She comes after me with my pants, shaking. And I'm standing there, and I'll tell you, you know what I said to her? I said, look, I'm bigger than you are now. You hit me, I'm hitting you back. I had to tell her, and she backed off.
She fought the battles in the family. I watched her. She was much more out front with what she wanted, you know, and my parents had certain ideas of her behaving certain ways, and so she would have to fight her battles. And I watched that, and there was a lot of emotional turmoil in the house because of her the differences of what she wanted and the way my parents wanted her to be.
She was not a conventional kid in many ways. I mean, junior New England fencing champion. I mean, how many Greek kids were fencing champions or even fenced?
You know the interesting thing about, though, that New England fencing champ, did I tell you this? I got on the mat, because I've been working with a master. I went from French fencing, which is very detailed and not aggressive. And then I saw these Hungarian women come to the Boston Fencing Club, and they had Italian foils, and they were like, hey, all these sounds were coming out of them. I go on the mat, and that person comes at me, and I stop. Hey, I'm like, and driving that person off the mat. I won that match by driving. You can get points. If you drove people off the match 2 times, 3 times, or whatever, you got a point. Drove her off the mat. And he comes up to me and he says, okay, Olympia, I don't want you to do this now. I want you to fence. I say, okay. I get on the mat. Whap, it comes out of me. And I do it the second time, and I win the match. He says, I'm going to pull you from the match. Stop this right now. So I realize, he's really serious. So I stop. These women were all Anglo-Saxon from the sister colleges of New England. I was from BU that didn't even have a fencing team, and here were these privileged, entitled Anglo-Saxons. And I was 18. I was 18, 19 years old, screaming and yelling, and hey, blah, blah, blah.
We were surrounded by many Brahmin types of girls, and both of us had strong ethnic roots. So I think we banded together as a way of protection. We were both mismatched at the school. We really didn't belong there. But the messages we received in the 50s were that you assumed very traditional roles. But she moved beyond the acculturation. She moved beyond the messages of the time. And I've often pondered, what is it that makes people go beyond the pack to strive where other people kind of stop and yield to the pressures of society, the traditional roles? What is it? What is the motivation? Anyway, she had it. She had it.
I've never felt that I was a part of the theatrical community in New York. I was too identified ethnically, which was a very old theme that started when I was young in Greek and fighting in the streets. I mean, it's very difficult to talk about because I suppose in the end it's simple. I just didn't belong. And who in America doesn't have an outsider feeling? I mean, there are so many immigrant groups. At first I tried to get away, and then I realized what I have to do is go into it, just the opposite of that. I have to do the opposite. Because that not belonging has been very much a part of my, not just in my work, it's like as a woman. But it never goes away, that thing of being outside, that thing of being different. And of course what happens is you think there's something wrong with you and that what you need to do is fix it. Fix it, do this, do that, fix it. And finding a way to live with who you are and not insist on fixing at a certain point becomes the name of the game. Want to see my three figures? My crone. It's a virgin. She's a little, has had a tough time. Virgin, mother, crone. 3 phases of a woman's life. This is where I'm at.
Good morning. My entree into the world of documentary.
Thank you so much. Oh, you know I have to call. Brenda Fricka called. What is it in Ireland right now?
I think
5 hours.
I think it's 5 o'clock
Ahead?
at night.
They're ahead of us?
5 o'clock now.
You want her?
Yeah, let's do it quickly, yeah. She got a job. She's so happy. Well, she spoke to Lulu. Are you on 2, Bonnie?
Yeah.
No,
I think it cut out.
Send an email.
Okay. What do you want to say?
Brandy! How great. I was happy, so happy to hear you're working. I know that how much it means to you. In Manchester. What's the part? What's the movie? How's Weight Watchers? And what are you doing with your dog? New paragraph. Brandy, today is my 80th birthday. Can you believe it? Some people don't know who the fuck I am. Oh, my arms are getting tired. I never thought of that.
The thing about Tales of the City was that most of us who participated in it knew that we were committing a revolutionary act. Olympia knew that she was part of something historic. And she knew that what she was saying through that character had not been said before, not with such affection and clarity. Olympia was really the only one that I got excited about to play Anna Madrigal. There were other name actresses, but nobody that I felt could really nail all of the things that are required to play a transgender, flamboyant mother hen.
It was a fearless and groundbreaking portrayal at a time when that kind of imagery in entertainment media simply did not exist. When we did the original Tales of the City, it was a kind of brave new world, not just in the depiction of a transgender leading lady, but also just in terms of the depiction of same-sex attraction, same-sex romance, same-sex relationships, and the whole idea of an LGBT-based family.
As for me, my favorite year hasn't happened yet.
Right on.
It's going to be 1987. I'll be 65 or so. I can collect Social Security, stash some away, and buy a small Greek island.
Yeah.
Right on.
Actually, I'll settle for a small Greek.
Please welcome Olympia Dukakis.
When I had to play this character, Anna Madrigal, I said to Alan Poole, the producer, I said, you know, I've got to meet someone. I've got to talk to someone who's gone through this. I have to understand what this is. And so they actually found a woman who was now a sex therapist. And we sat and talked one morning, and And the first question I said to her, what was it that you wanted, that you needed so that, because I knew by that time how incredibly difficult the operations were and all of this psychological, the journey that had to be taken and stuff. And I said, what was it that you needed so much? And she said, all my life I yearned for the friendship of women. It really knocked me out. And from then on, I understood that, I've had that in myself. I've tried to find within myself aspects of who I am as a woman, and to somehow share that with other women. And I understood immediately, not the particulars of her journey, but really the heart of it. I think it's great that you're all here. I'm looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I hope you have the same. Thanks a lot. I was like, I don't know what I thought she was going to say. I thought she was going to talk about sex, and she didn't. She talked about a human need she had that instantly, as an actress, made it possible for me to connect with the character.
Do you know if she's still in San Francisco?
She what?
Do you know if she's still here?
She was in L.A. actually.
Look who's here.
Accost her in the lobby.
Oh my God! Oh, you came.
We just realized we crossed.
Oh.
You're not leaving till the morning, so I called Bonnie just to say goodbye to you, and she said you're gonna be in this. I'm so happy about this. I can't tell you.
I'm gonna run upstairs. You're gonna go over to your dinner now?
No, we don't have to go till 8:30.
Let's sit down and have a drink.
Yeah.
Okay, sit down. So what are we having? A couple of pizzas and some champagne? Sound good to you?
Champagne's good for us.
Okay. What is this? It looks like scrambled eggs.
It does. Chris and I was asked to ride in the Palm Springs Gay Pride parade.
Oh, yeah.
And they put us in this sort of kit car, a kind of vintage Duesenberg or something that was the pride and joy of the man who was driving it. And no sign.
They forgot to make a sign.
They didn't make a sign.
So no one knew who you were.
So we just people were asking, who are you?
And we would just go.
The only real fun we had was we passed a corner where there was some nutbag Christians, screaming and yelling about God hates fags. And so we kissed for like 3 minutes.
Good for you!
While they just
They
were just uttering a
Did it
meaningless.
fry?
They were saying,
fag, fucking fags. Well, who else do you want us to fuck? Generally, I try to pick another fag.
That was really satisfying.
Who else do you want us to fuck?
We do need to run.
Okay.
I hate that, but we do have somebody waiting.
Can the Reverend Jim Brown, what's his name? Jim Robinson.
I'll tell you what we're missing out. Now what we should do is smoke a little pot.
We could invite him up if you plan to stay here. It'll be like a play. The bishop is arriving.
Well, I'm an octogenarian.
I know.
So watch it.
She's an octogenarian motherfucker. Or maybe a motherfucker.
Can I quote you? I'm an octogenarian motherfucker. That's what I am. I had a lot of different reasons to go on stage. I first got a hold of that there was something else going on when I realized that if I could become a good craftsperson, I had a reason to feel good about myself. Then I realized that if I could go on stage and do it better than other people, I could get parts, I could get noticed, I could get more money, I could get better parts. And then that kind of played itself out. I realized what I lost was the feeling of playing with other people. Because when you're trying to win, you don't play. You're trying to win. You're trying to be better. I didn't mind being competitive. Growing up, I'd been that way. So it was like, okay, let's go. I know this one. I'll do this. Except one day I didn't want to go on stage anymore. I got my hand on a doorknob and I didn't want to go on stage. And that was really
something. I had to deal with that. I realized that in New York, I was going to play very specific parts. They would not give me those parts. I couldn't even get auditions because my name was Olympia Dukakis. They said, oh, she's too ethnic. They didn't even know me, see me, hear me, the name. What you do is you say to yourself, oh, it's not going to happen. That's the structure. That's what it is. What are my options? My option was to start my own theater. I could do the parts I want. I could select the plays I want. I could work with the people I want. I could feel like I was in the theater. If you do it yourself, it's harder. But that's what it is. If you want it, if they don't give it to you, for whatever reason, you have to then make it yourself. You have to like build it yourself. And for that, you need patience.
We began the theater in 1973 in the what was the old Baptist church. We raised money any way we could. And it was extraordinary because we didn't succumb to being a commercial entity.
Olympia had such high standards. I mean, she was, her feeling is that only the best. And she and actually that whole group worked to make sure it was the best. And they took chances. I mean, it was a very exciting theater company to see because of that and because it sort of was infused with her spirit, which is nothing but the best.
She did a performance of The Rose Tattoo at her theater in Montclair, New Jersey. And she was an inspiration to me in that world. You know, I knew very few Greeks in that world. And so her success and her integrity as an actor moved me and inspired me.
And her theater, the whole theater, I don't know if you knew her at that time, but I went very often to Montclair, New Jersey. That was an amazing thing because they did all kinds of crazy stuff. Sometimes people were ready, sometimes they weren't. And then they would talk to the audience, like really talk to the audience. And other people pretend to talk to the audience, but she really talks to them. She really wants to know, what did you get? Where was your mind? What did you feel? What did you listen for? Did you hear that argument?
Stop ruining the girls at the high school! Anitela, Serafina! Anitela, No. I ain't through talking to this here teacher. Serafina, look at yourself. You're not dressed. I'm dressed okay. I'm not naked.
This last summer, I saw her do Mother Courage, the Shakespeare Company. And at the end of the play, when she pulls that card around, I turned to my husband and I said, you know, that's it. You don't have to see any more theater. That's it. It's never going to get any better than this. And her generosity on the stage. Being with her is the most generous thing that can happen on the stage. And that doesn't always happen with somebody who has her qualifications or her status. And she's totally open and crazy. Give me craziness every time.
There were film actors, there were television actors, there were stage actors, and it was very verboten to move from world to world. So she was one of the first people to do that. Very brave of her, because it was, at the time, you know, sort of looked down on. But she was sort of the gateway of, I think, the Hollywood community going, oh, there are theater actors out there. Oh, they're really good.
I watched her in the last piece she did in LA, where she didn't speak. Oh my God, it was stunning. To watch a woman on stage for 2 hours, not say a word, and present a whole life, a whole history. I could cry thinking about it because she's extraordinary.
She's a total professional. She does not play diva or mamselle, a goddess. She doesn't pull any rank. She's all heart. She's very professional. And she's a perfectionist. And I like that. But she gives to you what she expects, totally. She doesn't pull any games.
She's like a summer storm, you know. Sometimes it's really blue skies, and then it starts to get a little dark, and then, then it gets really dark, and then it's light again, and then it rains. I mean, she's everything that you want her to be and more. Her range is frightening.
and wonderful to watch. It's what every actor wants. I want it.
Whenever your name came up, it was always about the work. And the great parts she played and how she brought her uniqueness to the part. That's what if somebody says on my deathbed, what do you remember about Olympia? It's those 2 or 3 incredible parts that no one in this fucking country ever touched her. I've seen people do Mother Courage, and they don't know what the fuck they were doing at the very end. But when she got to the end and she picked up that wagon, like she's going to endure through anything. And I used to stand in the wings weeping every night.
I met Olympia at the Williamstown Theater Festival. Her first summer up there when she and Louis were up there was in 1961 when I wasn't there. But I came back in the fall and I asked around from people who had been there and said, what was it like? And they kept talking about Olympia or Olympia and Louis. They kept talking about these people. Oh, it's about one of my favorite relationships that I've ever known. It's so, they embrace each other in every sense of the word. They recognize each other on such a deep level. They recognize the value of each other in a very profound, intuitive, sometimes even funny way. Whatever was going on between them would flow right into the scene. It came in the door with them every day of rehearsal, like a dog. I mean, it just came in.
She and Louis, her husband, were just always working. And that was the life that we saw, that we were exposed to. It was not that overblown sort of Hollywood. It was working class. It was professional.
They work so well together, and that includes fighting and laughing. They share their work, and they share each other as 2 actors. Olympia thinks Louis is the best actor in the world. She has boundless respect for him, and he makes her laugh, and he calms her down. He's home base for her, and she's a thrilling pain in the ass for him.
Em, wake up. Come on.
Christ's sakes, what is it now?
Sit up. I want you to look at me.
Oh, you always do this to me.
I have the most amazing idea.
You're crazy.
Not just me, the 2 of us.
The breathing will improve. It's just a phase.
No, it's not just the breathing, you idiot. It's everything. No golf, no sex life, no friends left, no one to illustrate my books.
What about Levinstein?
Levinson died last November, for Christ's sake.
There are lots of young artists who would love to work with you.
Nobody wants to work with an old man.
What about my headaches? Do you hear me complain? If life doesn't give you exactly what you want to take your ball and go home? And what's worse, you want to take me with you?
Only if you want.
Well, I don't.
Time for a cocktail.
Oh, let's get a drink after this.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, let's have a drink.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's a cold.
I know it.
You're freezing in here, right?
Yeah, but warm heart.
This, tonight, my spirit shall give thee cramps. Pinch thee till thou bleedest. Give side stitches to pen thy breath up.
A southwest blow on ye, and blister you all over.
Each pinch more stinging than these that made them.
What? I must eat my dinner. I must eat my dinner.
There's more. Oh, then I got it. I've got it. Okay. There's more work for thee. Is that it? Maybe it's done. That was good. That no. That's yeah. I got it now.
Yeah.
There's more work for thee. No, there's more.
Oh, sorry, that's right.
No, I could just walk away from it. No, I can just take it now. I've got it now. There's more work for that. There's more work for.
I must eat my dinner.
I love watching you kind of like wind it up. Okay, I'm having an impulse.
I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, right. I'm having four of them.
I'm having an impulse.
I'm having four of them. That's the problem. I have four
go?
impulses.
Where's it gonna go?
Yeah.
You made much of me. You made much. You said
He actually
you made
gets-
much of
You
me.
think he gets to me?
A little bit, right? You made much of me with giving me water with berries in it. You did that. You treated me really well. You taught me. You did all that, and I loved you. And I think the audience needs to hear that, not only as a part of the relationship to understand it, but I think as you as a woman.
Reasoning now.
Yeah, you're
No,
reasoning.
I have taught you.
Yes, he's learned something. Right. And the thing about it is.
And you should love me. This
Right.
is true.
Right. Yes, that's true. That's true. And that's.
I just heard it. Imagine you've been saying it all this time, but I just dropped in. Teaching really became what acting was. It was a way of my reaching for my own identity, my own humanity, my own contradictions, my own darkness, my own shit. What are you afraid of doing? Something wrong? You're in a basement on Clinton Street. What the fuck are you gonna do wrong? I came in with very strong issues. I didn't know I had strong issues. I didn't know this. Greek was a big one. First generation was a big one. Sexual bias was a big one.
What do you mean sexual bias?
Oh, growing up. I saw it. I saw it in the Greek community. And in the very strong ethnic communities around me, they were that way. I saw those things. I came in with those things. I didn't understand how much anger I had, because I don't have any more anger.
No, you completely calmed down.
Olympia's like trying to get me to deal with who I am, you know, and I'm telling her about like a breakthrough that I had in the scene, and she's like, get out of here. I'm like, what? Get out of here. Get out of here and don't come back until you figure out why I'm throwing you out of this class. And I'm trying to understand, you know, what happened. I, asked for a meeting for us to get together. And she says to me, Tony, what do you think I am? Do you think I'm a book that you can pull down off the shelf, take the information out, close it, and put it back? I'm invested in you. I'm not just your teacher, And I'm like, wow. I mean, it struck me in such a way. I went, no one had ever cared for me that way.
What else you got inside? Remember I talked about an actor being a prism, having all these different faces, which are all different characters. What else have you got in there?
Having a woman as a teacher is very interesting because Olympia probably invented the feminist movement. I think she was one of the first ones there. She's very honest, and she doesn't like it when women do that subservient feminine thing to get what they want with men. I mean, you could just see the hackles raise on it. And she always called them out on it. I was watching this actress work with Olympia, and she was, more and more frustrated with this actress because this actress was like, I don't know. She was feeling and very, and Olympia, is like looking at her and just getting angrier and angrier and trying to evoke some basic emotive aspect, something that was going to be pure and real. And I'm thinking, wow, this is interesting, this woman really going after another woman and calling her out on this feminine, these games and I don't know, and Olympia finally, she had a cigarette and she leans forward and she looks at her and she goes, cut the shit, bitch, your cunt drips just like mine.
I had an acting class I was teaching, and there was an African-American girl and a very beautiful girl. But she came to class every day with her wig on, with her makeup on her. So I said to her, listen, I wish you would come someday without makeup and without your wig. She would come. So she's working one day, and I just went up and took that wig and I fucking yanked it off. It was, she went after my throat.
Oh, she did?
Oh, she did. And we were on the floor, the two of us. We were on the floor. And then at a certain point, we both stopped. We realized whatever had been spent was spent. And we sat there. The class was horrified. But today I would have been fired. It would have been like abuse, you know. You couldn't do the things we did at NYU at the time and get away with them today.
Here, hit this. Go ahead, Malin, slapper. Are you crazy? Hit her. Are you high, Clary?
Clary, have you lost your mind?
We'll sell T-shirts saying I slapped Weezer Boudreau. Hit her.
Miss Clary, enough.
Weezer, this is your chance to do something for your fellow man. Knock her lights out, Malin. Let go of me.
Whoa, this looks like major shopping here. Should I get the little one or the bigger one?
Yeah, let's get the bigger one.
Which is that's more interesting shooting?
No, I'm just hungry.
Look at the place. There's too many people here. Well, of course, it's Saturday, isn't it? Oh.
Hello.
Hello. Fine. Well, it's nice to see you.
Having a good time?
Yes, a very good time. Thank you very much. Do you want a piece of cheese? Want some beer? Hello.
I'm so happy to see you.
Well, thank you. Thank
I'm Serena. This is Alice, my mother.
How do you do?
So nice to see you.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Can I have a picture with you?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Can you tell me where the bottled green tea might be?
The bottled beverages are here.
Yeah,
so-
okay. I'll try that one.
Yeah.
She got it?
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
It's not every day that I bump into a
Well, nice to talk to you.
store.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Let's go in here. The green teas. Oh, this is not going to be good here. They're all going to start. My kids will have my head on a platter for this. You understand?
We will censor this scene.
No, this is not Olympia. I'm impersonating Olympia Dukakis. I'm in disguise, in costume. It's really made of vegetables. It's plant life. Yeah, hand me a cigarette, will you?
No, not in the car.
I'll open the window.
Oh, come on.
Look, look. You've got your window open, I've got my window open.
What was the choice of drugs for you?
For me,
Pot?
what?
Pot?
Yeah, but nut wasn't. I got addicted for 2 years to uppers.
Uppers?
Uppers and lowers, and I had a whole scheme during the day. I wouldn't get out of bed. I had to have it right next to my bed. It was pitiful.
Why did you stop it?
Well, it was interesting. One day, I don't know, I got up and I was like doing something and I went to the bathroom to take some, I don't know, I was washing my face. And I looked at myself and there was like literally a voice in my head that said, "You're trying to kill yourself." And that was like, that is what I'm doing. I'm trying to kill myself. I had a couple of episodes of those, trying to kill myself, not just with drugs. I was standing and a truck was coming and I just thought, oh, it would be so easy. I'll just go stand in front of the truck. And I did that and a woman pushed me out of the way. So a lot of these drugs were about trying to run ahead of everything, trying to, my management control system. But then when I realized that if I continued, I was going to kill myself with these drugs, I stopped right there. When I was in graduate school in Boston, I was seeing a therapist. That first week in that apartment, I had a hallucination. And, but I had learned about them by that time.
This is without drugs.
Oh yeah, this is without drugs. So the last hallucination I had, I manipulated it. I thought to myself, instead of being scared or instead of being passive, I had learned to become active with them. And I said, I saw the head of a woman coming at me like this, the back of her head. And I said, I'm going to see who this is. And I forced the head to turn around, and it was my mother with a grand guignol expression on her face, which was a lot of terror. I think that song is a silly thing to remember. On the other hand, whoa. Gotta go
We'll
out
fix
much
it.
sooner. Well, how are you cueing this?
Well, Olympia, I'm trying to figure out the house lights as well, to fade the house lights out, because they're so quick.
Well, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong
If
with
they're
it?
quick, take them out last.
Well, I'll take them out with the cue. I was trying to, yeah, I just have to work on it. It's the first time I've done it.
Okay.
So I think we'll make it work. I'm going to try it again. I just need to reset.
On the other hand, I heard the go. Okay.
I thought that one was too quick.
You thought it was too quick? No,
Yeah,
I didn't.
I thought it was too quick.
On the other hand, it's a little
What
late.
feels weird is that the house light's also going out at that time.
Yeah, well, you're asking me, I'm telling you, it's a little, the go has to come sooner, and the fade needs to be gentle, not abrupt. On the other hand, beat, fade. On the other hand, good. That's it. Look at the cat with its tail up. You know what that means? You want to fuck or you want to fight?
All right. I'm not sure I'll ever be able to use that information, but thank you.
Why are you alone, for Christ's sake?
Oh, God.
I mean, who's going to dial 911 when you're laid out and gasping for air?
I'm teaching the dog how to do it, actually.
No one is laughing. You want to fuck or you want to fight?
I want to do neither, really.
That's a problem. First of all, let me tell you, people in New York continue to be wonderful. I was with Louis once when he fell, and I mean, there were 10 men there in 2 minutes. Okay, buddy, we got you, buddy. Don't worry about anything. I mean, I was crying. And there they were, all these people came to me. I was like, and it wasn't for another 10, 15 minutes that people understood who I was. They didn't know. That wasn't what brought them. What brought them was that this white-haired old lady had fallen down on the street and nearly been killed by a car, and they were fabulous.
What's your philosophy
On what?
on death, on dying?
On death? So what time is it now? 5 of 1.
It's 1.
There's certainly no escaping it.
Does it scare you?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Not all the time. There are moments when it kind of hits me and I get scared.
What is the thing that scares you when you get scared? What is it? Is it the...
Not having no consciousness. It's the loss of what little part of myself is separate from everything else. To hold, that holding on to that. But my fears about this happen at night, or sometimes in the day. Something will happen, and I'll walk down the street and there'll be a wonderful wind. I love wind, and there'll be a wonderful wind, and I'll feel, isn't this great, the wind, and especially in New York, when the wind comes off the rivers. I was like, and then in that I think about not having this anymore, not having that wind, and I have this flash of fear.
Any regrets?
Of course. I regret that I wasn't able to handle my children better. I had not good parenting skills. I don't know what you want to call them. I mean, not that I didn't do the best I could. I did. I know that. I didn't create boundaries and disciplines. Once, I'll never forget this, I left Stefan waiting on the steps of the high school with all his hockey equipment. Just this little kid. Everybody had picked up their kids and their stuff, and it was like 45 minutes that kid sat there. Things like that, they come back like to haunt you. How could I have forgotten Stefan? How could I have forgotten him?
I was the third child, the youngest of 3. When I was a sophomore in high school, I was going on a ski trip where we went to Quebec. I remember the night before the trip, I think it was the first time I was going out of the country, and I had a list of things to go through, and it said one of the ones was a birth certificate. And so I pick it up, and I'm looking at it, and I just wanted to make sure I have everything in order. And I'm glancing through, and I see for birthday, it says February 4th. And I said, that's weird. I'm like, my birthday's February 5th. I looked at the time. There was the time of the birth. And I was like, did they get it wrong? Was that maybe it was at night? So they didn't, I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. So I specifically remember walking into my parents' bedroom, and I said to them, I go, Mom, Dad, this is kind of weird. My birth certificate says February 4th. We always celebrate my birthday February 5th. And I remember my dad going, that's right. That's right. My brother's birthday is February 5th. You're the 4th. At the time, I kind of wished my parents were more normal. You know, I looked at some of my friends and felt like I wish, you know, I had like, you know, the stay-home mom and the Wall Street father who comes home on every day, but that just wasn't the way things were. You know, and there weren't really any gender roles in their marriage, and we didn't really as kids, but I was a young 8 years old doing my own laundry, like, because my dad was like, you know, they just decided like, you know, they're old enough, you do your own laundry. I was like, oh crap, I don't want to do this, you know?
I think also because when I grew up, I wanted less boundaries, you know, so I think I gave boundaries when I shouldn't have. I should have defined and delineated and stuff like that. Fortunately for my sons, they had sports, but my daughter, I didn't. Would you hand me that? I just noticed it. Oh, it's a drunk Italian grandmother. I have given my definitive Italian performance, I think. Yeah, that's better.
Huh? Yeah. Let's see.
Say, how we doing with the duo?
The duo.
Ask if there's another actress yet. It doesn't matter. I don't...
She's got eyelash glue. She does.
Okay, we'll ask. We'll call it Faye Dunaway. We'll ask the concierge to call Faye Dunaway and ask if she's got any duo surgical adhesive.
Either that or Elton John.
He's got it.
Someone said, well, possibly there might be some other actresses here staying at the hotel. Do you think maybe we could borrow some adhesive from some... Who's staying at the hotel, do you think?
Faye Dunaway!
Someone says Faye Dunaway is here.
Ask the concierge.
Yeah, call Faye Dunaway and see if she can lend Olympia Dukakis some of her adhesive for her R-line or whatever. I don't know what they use it for.
Then the camera crew has to go. Forget it.
Okay. Whichever comes first, a drugstore or Faye Dunaway. Okay. Goodbye. It's a comedy.
What else would it be?
Well. I'm telling you. And Faye Dunaway said, I wouldn't give that bitch a fucking thing.
Well said. We actually graduated from the same college, I think.
That's right. That's right.
She graduated from Boston University. I mean, I think I graduated before she did. Yeah, I remember that.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You're so handsome and you look great.
Oh, thank you.
Together.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye again.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Well, we got everything, right?
I've got my glasses. Now I'm really getting excited. Now I'm getting excited.
Oh, here, the elevator's waiting. The elevator's waiting. How's my hair, Carly?
Wasn't it?
How's my hair?
No, make it.
More?
Yeah,
Wait, no,
don't pat it down.
It looks too wild. It looks too wild. Look like a...
Now I'd like to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Candace Oregon and Mr. Louis Long.
The nominees for an actress in a supporting role are
Olympia Dukakis in Moonstruck.
Why would a man need more than one woman?
I don't know. Maybe because he fears death.
That's it. That's the reason.
I don't know.
No, that's it. No. Thank you. Thank you for answering my question.
And the winner is
Olympia Dukakis and Moonstruck.
Well, I'm very honored. I want to thank the members of the Academy. I want to say yet again, thank you to Norman, to Patrick Palmer, and to John Patrick Shanley, to my family, my husband, who has been my companion through my career, through my life, to my friends and colleagues in New York and at the whole theater. Thank you very much. Okay, Michael, let's go! Michael!
You're fantastic.
Michael, did you watch it?
Watch it. We've watched it for a second time here. Oh, you're unbelievable.
This is like a Roman spectacle. This is unbelievable.
What are we doing here?
I don't know.
Just a couple of street kids, that's all.
I don't understand how this all happened.
You're great. We're proud of you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Test everybody.
Bye. Oh, it's great. You think I could call my mother?
Did you ever think that Olympia would have this kind of success?
No, never.
Why not?
Because it took so long. I thought she was one of the ordinary actresses. This is a surprise to me.
Listen, when this thing happened with this guy that I was my first love, very much in love with, I got a letter from him. His parents didn't want me. I just went to the mirror and I looked at myself and I said, now what are you going to do with your life? I mean, I just went forward. I did not want to, but of course what happened to me was that I just closed my heart down. I mean, I'd go out with people, I'd have affairs with them, but no feelings. I experienced it as nothing and no one is going to take over again. My life is going to be what I want it to be.
Were you a very sexual person?
Yeah. I mean, I was like, in the time when you could do this, the queen of one-night stands. Because it was always different. Each man was different. You never knew what it was going to be like with to how they were going to kiss, how they were going to feel inside of you, what they were going to do to your body. You never didn't know what was going to happen. Of course, it was then that I met Louis at the same time.
Was that like a one-night stand?
Well, no, I knew almost immediately with Louis that first night. And the next morning, I wouldn't leave. Felt like I was in a French movie. I had a black slip on and I was sitting around. I remember thinking, well, if he can kick me out, that's it. He'll kick me out. But I'm not leaving.
I remember her eyes. They were kind of heavy-lidded, and they were very sexy. And I says, oh, my God, this woman. And then she wasn't a shrinking violet. She never was. And at one point, I realized I was in love with her. And I was never that committed to a woman ever. I would have one-night stand here and there, you know. And finally, one day, I said to her, will you marry me? I could not say it. And she realized how fucking screwed up I was. I couldn't even say, would you marry me? I love you. I couldn't say it. I was beginning to feel feelings I never felt before. Then I realized there was something here, something was going on. And it was my love for her.
I remember when I got pregnant with Christina, he was in stock. He was having a thing with somebody, not an actress. I wasn't as all sure that I wanted to have children at that time. And
And I couldn't get him on the phone. So finally I got him on the phone and I told him he had to come back. We had to talk. We had to make this decision about whether or not to have the baby. And he said, well, I can't. I have only one day off. And I said, you better get back here. Well, there won't be any back here to get back to. I remember I was like and he came back. And we talked and he told me about this woman. I mean, it was the least of my concerns. I met her eventually. I liked her. She thought we were odd. Oh. I'm gonna go to, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to have one of your apples, then I'm going to go home.
Okay. I think it's E.
E-D?
It's Edramit. Wait, I'm going to do this one. Don't talk. I can't.
Do it again.
I don't know which one.
That sound means that you can save.
Oh, okay.
No. Do it again, press it again.
Which all? Christina, or Ken MacDonald?
I'm trying to enter the 21st century, but you can't say a damn word. That bitch, she tricks it up and you gotta be absolutely focused. Siri, her name is, right?
Where is it?
No, you gotta do it like this. Gotta hold it down. The town of Edramit in Turkey.
When is your meeting?
No, I'm talking about a town in Turkey, and the name is Edramit.
Sorry, I don't understand. No, I'm talking about a towel in Turkey, and the name is it at that I meet. Okay, when?
Let me try again. I'm talking about a town, not a towel, in the country of Turkey. Now can you help me?
I don't know what you mean by. Let me try again. I'm talking about town of non-towels in the country of Turkey.
Sorry, I can't even.
Edramit, Turkey.
Sorry, I missed that.
What the fuck good is she? This Siri. $400. Okay, so what's happening tomorrow, Lulubelle? At 2:00, Lulu.
What?
What? Do you want to do something?
At 2 o'clock?
Yeah, what do you
I'll
want?
have to check my schedule.
My name is Rocco Sisto, and I am damaged. And I am damaged because of these two people. So I'm walking up Broadway 2 days ago. And it's raining, and I'm coming from an audition. I have a suit on, and I see this man on the street, and he's walking down Broadway. And so I walk over, and he looks at me, and he goes, I didn't recognize you. And then he said, I'm going to therapy. And I thought, this guy's 115 years old. He's going to therapy. And then I realized he's married to her. And of course he's going to therapy. Wouldn't you?
I would say those things. Well, maybe this, well, maybe that. Well, it was like rock solid. He said, I've never loved anyone in my life like you. He was absolutely convinced, and he was not going to walk away from it. It was the other day we were talking about, I don't know, somebody was saying somebody was beautiful. And I said to him, you know, you'll never say that I'm beautiful. I said, didn't you, I said, don't you think I'm beautiful? And he started to laugh. I said, well, when we first met, did you think I was beautiful? He said, honestly? He said, no, I didn't. I said, what did you think? He said, I never knew anyone with a spirit like yours. I said, you can't tell me you fell in love with me because of my spirit. He said, yes, that's why I fell in love with you, because of your spirit. Not because you were the most beautiful woman I'd ever been with and stuff. It was like really interesting. I pouted for a day or so.
Was Louis very sexual?
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
As sexual as you, or?
Differently. I was more, let's try this, let's do that, let's try this, let's go there, let's do this. You know? He was the one that had more feeling. He was the one that helped me get my feelings, because I could make love, but I didn't have feelings. Louis cried. I was like...
Does that ever stop?
What?
Being sexual?
You know what? It doesn't. It doesn't. It's really interesting to continue to think that you are going to have the kinds of experiences and interaction that you had when you're younger, of course, is to lie about what's the truth. Well, I was talking to a couple of women we were together, and I said, you know, it's interesting how you always take a hard prick for granted. That you think there's always going to be a hard prick. You never think there is, you know? You dance with somebody, bang, that prick is hard, you know? You rub against somebody, you walk into the prick is hard. I said, but then the day comes and you can't take for granted a hard prick. Yeah, that's the one. Cute little thing. Beautiful eyes.
That's what I thought. I love his eyes.
Remind me of my Nat. That's why I wanted him.
Nat was your dog?
No, my husband. He died at the deli last year, went for some half and half of my coffee, never came back. I should have just drank it black.
I'm sorry.
You kind of have his build, you know? That's what I liked when I was young. You feel a man's weight. Helps you forget your troubles. We were doing The Trojan Women. My brother was directing. We had spent the summer adapting it ourselves. We got into rehearsal, and coincidentally, I happened to be across the street looking for opening night presents for the set designer, and I saw a book called Perseus and the Gorgon. And I remembered Perseus. My father talked about Perseus, his great Greek hero who united Greece. Talked about Perseus, but not like my father. She said Perseus went around Greece, razed the temples, killed the priests and priestesses, buried all their artifacts, and this was the phrase that got me and still gets me, buried in oblivion and covered in silence the teachings of the Great Mother. And I'm like, what? First, what Great Mother? And what are these teachings? So I started to look for it. And it wasn't until I was in a Buddhist bookshop and I was pushing books around trying to see what was there, and a book fell off the shelf and it was covered down, and I looked at it and picked it up, and it said, When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone. I took it home and it totally blew my mind. I would like come running out of my room to Louis saying, listen to this. And I would tell, you know, then I'd go back, and it was like, I couldn't believe what I was reading. History. I was reading history, her story, H-E-R-S, and what had happened. Life had been matrifocal and matrilineal. At the time when it was matrifocal and matrilineal, the society was egalitarian. I began to find the research and those people, the historians, who had actually written about this period. And so it began to ground me. I began to feel I could lend myself to this. I could permit myself to open my imagination and my feelings to it. So I'm having this massage, and I hear this voice saying to me, celebrate her. And then I feel an androgynous presence in the room. And I really got scared. I started to cry. And I said, I don't know how to celebrate. I know how to suffer, but I don't know how to celebrate. And she said to me, you do. You are of her. And you know. For 25,000 years, God was a woman, not a man. And it was simple why that was the case. The woman carried the child. The woman then actually birthed the child, and then the woman actually fed the child, all from her body, like the body of the planet. So what was sacred? Sacred was immanent. It was within the form. The tree, the sacredness of the tree as it bore fruit. The sacredness of the river as it gave water and nurtured the plants. These, they saw what was sacred as immanent within the world around. How could man compete with woman with this? You couldn't. So that had to be diminished. That had to be lessened. Perseus destroyed the temples of the Great Mother and killed all the priests and priestesses that were involved. And buried in oblivion and covered in silence, it was against the law to talk about it. Buried in oblivion, covered in silence, the teachings of the Great Mother. So of course my thing was, well, what are these teachings that had to be hush-hush? The basis of life is transformation. Just as the seasons changed and just as we age and everything else is happening constantly to us. And that's what it is. We die and we fall to the earth, and we are part of the earth that nurtures new life and comes forward. I began to understand that the issues that I was having, that I thought were mine alone, and that I was so fucked up, and that my family was this and that, have a historical basis. It is a bigger issue than me, Olympia. You know, I began to understand that. I began to separate. Now, this is my shit, and this is our species shit over here. It was my idea, this thing of going to my mother's village, as you recall. It was something matrilineal for my daughter and my granddaughters to come to my mother's village and see and feel a presence of my mother and her mother. I have to say, even when I was young, I had this connection or something. Connection is almost too strong and too practical somehow. It was more a kind of a memory or a dream. And then I said to myself, I wish I knew my great-grandparents and my great-great-parents. I wish I had a sense. And I thought, they're in me someplace. What if I just call them forth? What if I imagine them? What if I assume they're part of my soma, my DNA? I made them real to me. I saw their faces. I don't know why that was so important to me. I just say, because it stops. It stops with my grandmother, and you've got to know that these people have been here for centuries, millennia, who knows? There's just something, and I may never know it or understand it, but that doesn't matter. I feel like I said, look, here's this lineage. Here's this long red line, you know. It's the menstruating red line. Here it is. This is part of it. We're part of it. You're part of it.
Πορτοκάλι είναι,
Καρότα.
Καρότα, δεν το παίρνεις πίσω.
Carrot. Oh, it's delicious. Έξοχο. Φιλινάδες είστε?
Φιλινάδες. Γειτόνισες.
Από μικρή.
Από μικρή.
Είχετε παιδιά, είχετε όλα μαζί.
Γόνια, παιδιά, γόνια, απ' όλα. Απ' όλα. Εσείς?
Και τα παιδιά σας, την κόρη μου. Έχω δύο γιος.
Να τις χαίρεσαι.
Το όνομά της είναι Κριστίνα.
Χριστίνα, Εσείς ποια είστε του Δουκάκη αδερφή?
Όχι αδελφή.
Όχι αδερφή.
Είμαι, πώς το λένε?
Αξαδέρφη.
Ο πατέρας μου και ο πατέρας του ήταν...
αδέρφια.
Μάλιστα.
Είχατε ξαναρθεί?
Είχα μια φορά. Θυμάσαι που ήρθα? Αλήθεια, θυμάσαι?
Το είπα, τώρα το είπα. Τότε που είχε να βγει για πρόεδρος.
Ήρθα μονάχη μου.
Μοναχιάς, ναι. Μοναχιάς είχες. Μοναχιάς είχες έρθει.
Το όνομά σας είναι?
Εμένα Μαρία.
Μαρία, χαίρομαι πολύ.
Ευχαριστώ επίσης. Ελένη,
χαίρομαι πολύ.
Θάλια.
Είχα μια φιλινάδα, Θάλια. Καλλιόπη.
Εσάς το όνομά σας?
Οlympia.
Χαιρόμαστε πολύ.
Μένετε εδώ?
Εδώ.
Right here, this is
εδώ, γύρω όλα. Εδώ είναι το δικό μου σπίτι, πιο απάνω της Κυραλένης, εκεί είναι της Κυρακαλλιόπης.
Εδώ, αυτή η αυλή που είδατε.
Εδώ είναι το μέρος σας.
Μέρος μας, που καθίσουμε.
Τα καθίσματά μας. Εγώ δεν έχω μέρος. Γιατί? Έξω από το σπίτι στη Νέα Υόρκη δεν έχετε μέρος. Parks, πώς το λένε τα parks? Πάρκα έχουμε, πάρκα. Αλλά εδώ, this is different.
Εμείς έχουμε...
Καλύτερα είναι έτσι.
Δεν έχουμε πάρκα εμείς εδώ.
Καλύτερα, δεν έχεις τόσο κόσμο.
Κάνουμε... Ηρεμία έχουμε εδώ. Ηρεμία έχουμε.
Ησυχία.
Τι να κάνουμε?
Καθόμαστε σηκώστε εσείς, να σηκωθούμε να κάτσουμε.
Όχι, όχι, πρέπει να πάμε. Σας είδα και ήθελα να έρθω να σου πω hello.
Καλά έκανες.
Καλά
και εμείς άμα τον ακούμε που είναι του Δουκάκη, λέμε χωριανός μας ήταν. Τότε που θέλει να βγει πρόεδρος της Αμερικής.
Θα τον πω, άμα θα πάω πίσω θα το...
Ναι. Είχαμε μια χαρά που ήθελε να βγει.
Πού καθόσαστε εσύ,
τώρα
το μόνιμο?
Αυτός δεν πηγαίνει πούπιτα τώρα.
Δεν πάει πουθενά.
Η γυναίκα του είναι άρρωστη και δεν μπορεί να πάει πούπιτα.
Τι να κάνουμε?
Έτσι είναι όλα τα πράγματα.
Υγεία.
Περνάνε τα χρόνια.
Την υγεία σας, okay.
Επίσης.
Δώσε χαιρετισμούς.
Χαιρετισμούς, άντε, στο καλά να πάει.
Γεια σας.
Good evening, γεια σας.
Καληνύχτα.
Καληνύχτα σας.
Καληνύχτα. I think I'd like to sit back. I just feel like crying. They reminded me of my mother. They reminded me of my yaya. But you know what it was? I mean, their hair is all pulled back. They don't have a lick of makeup. Half their teeth are gone. But they're beautiful. And they have such life in them and such energy and such a... Under different circumstances, we were similar ages. We would have been filinadas. We would have been friends. We would have grown up together.
So where are we going now?
You want to just see what happens to my face when I say the turtle. We're going to the turtle. Now recovered after having been in the care of nurses and doctors. It seems to have recovered and is now ready to join its fellow turtles out in the Aegean. This is so beautiful.
So, about Lola, the turtle that we are going to release today.
That's the name of the turtle, Lola? Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets.
So, we are about to start. Thank you very much for being here. Please try to be not loud in order to avoid stressing the animal.
I think we'll be able to see from here. Oh no, all the people are going down there. I think we have to go down. Oh. It's in the... And now what is happening right now? Are we looking? Are we sensing? It's evocative, and then you get that, and then you go on. Then you keep going, and then until you reach another point, just like that turtle trying to get to the ocean, or being compelled to go to the ocean. It wasn't trying to do anything, that turtle. And then you stop, and you get another hit. You stop.
I realized I do the same thing that turtle does. And I do that when I work. I move, and then I stop, and then my system seems to absorb on a non-intellectual level, non-emotional level. Is it my body? It is, but it's not, I mean, maybe it's a non-literal level.
Well, it's about time. It's about time. The fuck. I'm free, exhausted, but I'm free. Thanks, so free. Glad you survived another piece of caca. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think I said this the other day. It's my one insight section. Why are people sadistic? The answer is because they feel
Remember, Mother would get up and start doing these songs? I want to get you on a slow boat to China. Remember that one?
I remember her
All
singing.
to she would act it out. All to myself alone. She would act the whole.
I remember
Yeah,
this.
this little she said she was 5 feet tall. She wasn't. She was 4'11". She was 5 feet. All right, we'll give it to her. Running around playing all these parts. Well, you don't know because, you were too young to remember. But I had to play the spirit of young Greece in one of those things that she and Daddy put
In the
together
dance
for the
group.
Greek
She was in
War
that dance group.
Right, the dance group, and all these 4'11" Greek ladies weighing 200 pounds running around in diaphanous clothes.
I remember that.
Even at those ages, we knew it was funny. And then I had to go over and take these 2 doves out of a crate and release them because I was the spirit, the hope of the future for Greece. It was during the Second World War.
And it turned out you were the hope of
And I took it and I released them, and the damn things crapped all over them. I'll never forget that. I thought,
Oh my God.
I've always said I should have known what show business was like then. That was the cue. The gods were telling me something. You're gonna get crapped on.